Have you ever noticed how certain people transform completely the moment something goes right in your life? It starts quietly. A greeting that feels colder than usual. A smile that never quite reaches their eyes. That friend who used to call just to chat suddenly vanishes. The cousin who always loved your Instagram posts stops hitting like. The co-worker who used to strike up conversations in the elevator now stares at their phone when you walk in. You're left puzzled. Maybe you're imagining things. After all, these people have always been in your corner, right? They've always supported you, always said they were rooting for you. But here's the brutal truth. There's a world of difference between cheering for someone when they're at your level and continuing to cheer when they rise above it. When we witness someone close to us achieve something we don't have, can't get, or never dared to try for, our first reaction isn't joy. It's discomfort. It's a sharp pang in the chest that we can't quite name. It's our ego being confronted with an uncomfortable truth. If that person could do it, maybe the problem isn't the world. Maybe it's me. This hurts. It hurts because it demolishes the comfortable narrative we've built to justify our mediocrity. You know that story about how the system is rigged, how only the lucky ones make it, how the world is against us. When someone close to us wins using the same tools available to us, that excuse crumbles. And all that remains is the naked truth. While they were doing, we were wasting time. The mirror that reflects what we could have been. The mediocre person doesn't hate you for who you are. They hate the mirror you've become. Your achievement is living proof that it was possible, that the opportunities were there, that maybe, just maybe, the difference between you and them isn't luck, isn't privilege, isn't injustice. It's choice, it's courage, it's consistency. This reflects one of Schopenhauer's most penetrating insights about human nature. Envy is born from the involuntary comparison we make between our reality and someone else's. When we realize that someone achieved what we couldn't, our first instinct isn't to admire or learn. It's to diminish, to find flaws, to root for failure. You've seen this happen in your own family, haven't you? That cousin who was always in the same boat as you, grinding, complaining about life, dreaming together. Until the day you decided to stop dreaming and start doing. Then they were left alone with their complaints. And suddenly you became the lucky one, the privileged, the one who changed after making it in life. You did change. You changed because you grew, because you evolved, because you left the comfort zone of shared mediocrity. And that's unbearable for those who stayed behind, because now it's evident that the problem was never external. The problem was always internal. The difference was always in attitude. When success becomes a threat to their comfort, the mind that settles into mediocrity creates a protective bubble made of excuses and victimization. Inside this bubble, everyone is a victim of the same circumstances. Everyone has the same limitations. Everyone is in the same sinking boat. But when someone jumps out of that boat and starts swimming, the bubble bursts. And those left inside feel naked, exposed, without excuses. That's why the success of someone close to you hurts more than a celebrity's success. The famous person you see on TV exists in another universe. You weren't at the same starting line. But that acquaintance who came from the same place as you, had the same opportunities, faced similar difficulties and still made it? That's the mirror no one wants to look into. Here lies the great mistake of those who are achieving their goals, expecting others to celebrate their victory, expecting those who stayed behind to applaud those who moved forward. That's naivety. It's misunderstanding human nature. It's ignoring that your success, however good it may be for you, is a direct threat to the psychological comfort of those who chose mediocrity. You don't need to be arrogant to be bothersome. You just need to be consistent. You don't need to be flashy to generate envy. You just need to be prosperous. You don't need to look down on anyone to become a target. You just need to grow. Because the simple fact that you're where they're not is already an involuntary provocation to the fragile ego of those who've grown accustomed to living on excuses. The cruel psychology behind the mask. The mask falls slowly, First come the seemingly innocent comments, loaded with an irony you feel but can't prove. "Oh, now you're rich, huh? Must be nice not having worries." Easy to talk when life's all figured out. Words that sound like compliments but cut like blades. Then comes the strategic silence. Your good news stops generating reactions. Your invitations start getting declined. Your successes are met with a dry, "That's nice," without excitement, without questions, without genuine interest. It's as if your evolution were an inconvenience they prefer to ignore, hoping it will disappear. What hurts most is realizing this comes from where you least expected it. From the family that always said you'd go far. From friends who swore they had your back. From people you considered your foundation, your safe harbor. Suddenly you discover that their support had an undeclared condition, that you remain at their level. There's a cruel psychology behind this. The human mind has a natural tendency to measure its own life against others' lives. When everyone is on the same level, there's a sense of balance, of normalcy. But when someone breaks rank, when someone breaks the pattern, it generates profound discomfort in those who stayed behind. The freedom of not needing to justify. It's easier to accept that you're in a bad situation if everyone around you is too. It's more comfortable to believe that life is hard for everyone than to admit that some made different choices and reaped different results. It's less painful to blame circumstances than to take responsibility for your own stagnation. That's why when you rise, you automatically reveal who's sinking. Not because you did something against them, but because your upward trajectory makes their stagnation more evident. Your discipline exposes their carelessness. Your progress highlights their procrastination. Your success unmasks their excuses. And here lies a truth that hurts but liberates. You owe nothing to mediocrity. You don't owe explanations to those who don't understand your choices. You don't owe satisfaction to those who didn't follow your journey. You don't owe apologies for daring to leave the commonplace. The person who criticizes you for winning probably already criticized you for trying. The same mouth that today says you've changed yesterday said you were too much of a dreamer. The same gaze that today judges you for succeeding yesterday discouraged you from trying. It's not about your success. It's about the bitterness of those who've grown accustomed to failure. The serenity of those who need no validation. There comes a moment in life when you simply stop explaining. Stop justifying your choices. Stop trying to convince those who don't want to be convinced. Stop wasting energy trying to prove your worth to those who've already decided you're worthless. This is the greatest freedom that exists. The freedom to be misunderstood without caring. The freedom to be criticized without being shaken. The freedom to be envied without feeling guilty. Because you finally understand that others' opinions about you say more about them than about you. The truly strong mind doesn't need external validation. It's self-sufficient. It finds its motivation within itself, its success criteria in its own values, its source of satisfaction in its own achievements. It doesn't live for applause, so it doesn't die from booze. There's a profound serenity in those who've reached this level of emotional maturity. It's the serenity of knowing that not everyone will understand your journey, and that's okay. Not everyone will support your dreams, and that's okay. Not everyone will celebrate your victories, and that's okay too. Schopenhauer understood this deeply. Greatness lies in remaining whole, regardless of the world's reaction. In continuing to walk, even when few accompany you. In maintaining your principles, even when it costs you relationships. In staying true to yourself, even when it makes you lonely. The dignity of those who stand alone. But here's a beautiful truth. You're not truly alone. There are other people who, like you, had the courage to leave mediocrity behind, who made difficult choices, who paid the price of growth, who understood that evolving sometimes means leaving behind those who don't want to evolve with you. These people recognize you. They see what you've been through because they've been through the same. They respect your journey because they know the weight of each step. They celebrate your victories because they know what they cost. And with these people, you build real relationships based on mutual admiration, not destructive competition. The interesting thing is that when you stop seeking approval from the mediocre, you automatically attract high-level people. When you stop justifying yourself to those who don't understand you, you become interesting to those who do. When you stop trying to fit into others' small worlds, you find your place in the big world of those who, like you, dared to grow. Dignity isn't about never being criticized. It's about being criticized and maintaining your posture. It's not about never being misunderstood. It's about being misunderstood and continuing to be authentic. It's not about never facing envy. It's about facing envy and not letting it diminish you. You learn that you don't need to hide to please those who envy you. You learn that you don't need to conceal yourself to avoid bothering those who are bothered by your shine. You learn that you don't need to walk with your head down to make others feel taller. True humility isn't about diminishing yourself. It's about recognizing your worth without arrogance and owning your achievements without ostentation. It's being grateful for what you've achieved without feeling guilty for having achieved it. It's celebrating your victories without needing to put down those who didn't win. The immunity that comes with understanding. And then something magical happens. You become immune to others' pettiness. Criticism becomes background noise. Sabotage attempts become irrelevant. Others' envy becomes just a thermometer confirming you're on the right path. Because deep down, you know a truth they don't want to accept. Those who need to tear you down to feel big have been small for a long time. Those who need to dim your light to stand out never had their own light. Those who need to criticize your achievements to validate their excuses never had the courage to achieve anything. You keep going, you grow, you evolve. Not despite others' envy, but knowing it's inevitable. Not with anger toward those who criticize you, but with compassion for those trapped in their own mediocrity. Not with arrogance for having won, but with gratitude for having had the courage to try. And in the end, you understand that the greatest victory isn't proving anything to anyone. It's reaching the point where you no longer need to prove anything. It's finding your inner peace regardless of external chaos. It's building a life so solid that other storms can't shake your structures. This is the dignity of those who need no justification. Knowing that your worth doesn't depend on others' recognition. Your happiness doesn't depend on others' approval. Your success doesn't need validation from those who never tried. You simply are, and that's enough. What about you? Who did you have to leave behind when you decided to stop accepting mediocrity? Share your unfiltered experiences in the comments below. If this piece gave you strength to keep following your path, like it. Share it with that friend who needs to hear these words. Sometimes a single message can be the push someone needs to stop justifying and start living.